you can still be, I've never seen it, but I guess a big show right now is The Walking Dead. I don't know what it's about. Is it about zombies? I don't know. But anyway, the phrase, there can be parts of us that we've kind of allowed to die. There could be a certain dream that we've just given up on it, and we've let that dream die. We maybe we're dying to our potential. We're dying to some aspect of our destiny. You don't have to be like thoroughly dead to be dead, and you don't have to like be a zombie in every area of your life to be kind of dying a little every day to some aspect of who you are. We kind of hit that a little bit yesterday. I feel like that's something that the Lord he keeps coming back to that a lot of you, yeah, you're doing good in a lot of areas, but then there's like this one part of you that you've kind of locked off. Maybe you had some disappointment in that. Maybe you had some setbacks, or maybe life just got busy. And you had that dream and it's kind of been on hold. We had one gal, the Lord spoke to her yesterday and said, you just kind of been on pause. You're not stopped, you're paused. Hey, do you know, like a lot of these technologies, they give you the option. One is stop and one is pause. So some of you have this part of you that has been on pause, and it's kind of been dying a little bit on the vine. And that vision is so vital. If you have vision in every area of your life so that you're fully alive, right? Okay. So that was kind of yesterday. And I know a lot of you follow my ministry and you've heard my story, but for those of you who are new, I'm going to just touch on it because it's really relevant here. I had been a Christian for less than 24 hours when I received a vision from God. And I heard from him so clearly, it was like he was standing next to me. I mean, I heard God. And I'd only been a Christian for 24 hours. And he said, Donna, I'm going to take you all over the world and I'm going to use you in a mighty way for my kingdom. Now, I immediately knew that he meant my mouth. My nickname growing up, my mom called me Mouth Almighty. And that was because not only did I talk 24/7, but my voice projected. I don't need a microphone. I don't need it. My voice is really strong and it projects. And it always has. So my mom always called me Mouth Almighty. And from the time I was a little girl, I dreamed of being a writer. And I dreamed of standing on a stage. So immediately, what God spoke resonated with a dream that was already in my heart. And I'm like, yes, that's it. That's what I'm on the planet to do. And so I had this powerful, powerful moment with God where I received a vision and kind of clarified the vision that was already there. And if you've never had a moment like that with God, first of all, if you have, share it with me. I want to jump over here and read some of your feedback. Have you had a moment like that with God? And if so, share a little bit about it. And if you haven't, say, I'm longing for that. I need that moment of clear vision from God, or I need clearer vision. And honestly, you know what most of us need? Confirmation. And I know that's something that God does a lot through my ministry. I can't tell you how many times I'm praying for someone and they'll just be, that's total confirmation. And I think it's because that dream, it's there. It's already there. Like there's some part of you, like even those who are saying, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's like when someone speaks it over you, whether it's like God speaking to you and you're like, yes, God, that is why I'm here. Or someone prays over you and you're like, yeah, that confirmed that. I kind of knew that, but I was almost afraid to believe it. Does this make sense? Does this resonate? If this is resonating with you, give me that thumbs up button or the love button and let me know. They're like, yeah, that's true. And I think that that's one of the things that the Lord does a lot through this ministry, WEU, as I pray for people, as I pray prophetically for people, he kind of confirms something that they've already known, something that they've already heard, but they're starting to lose momentum. They're starting to let that vision die. And God uses me to stir that back up, or not just me, but anyone who prays. And what do I mean by prophetically? Am I talking about predicting the future, like psychic? No. When I say praying prophetically, and those of you who know my ministry know this, I'm talking about pressing into the heart of God and saying, Lord, you love this person. What do you want to say to them? What is your highest and best will for this person that I'm praying for? God, I want to hear your heart about their heart and what you've planted there. What are the dreams that you want to use me right now to stir that up, clarify that vision? That's a big part of what I do. And one of the fun things that we're going to do during the paid class, and most of you know we've got 5 days together with this free class, and then we're going to have a paid class 21 days, and I'm going to pray individually for every person in that class. And the way it's going to work is that you're going to create a vision board. I'm going to give you guidance because most people either have never done a vision board or they've done it wrong. Most people either haven't done it or they've done it wrong. And it's actually counterproductive. You make this chaotic vision board that your brain's like, whoa, I'm getting a headache. I don't know what she's talking about here. I'm going to check out. I can't do this. So I'm going to train you how to do it right. And then I'm going to pray over it prophetically. And I'm going to ask the Lord to pull some things out. And some of you are like, well, Donna, why should I, if I make a vision board and I go to all that effort, then what do I need you to pray for me for? What does that do? I'll tell you, it's like it puts the super onto the natural. And that's what we ask Holy Spirit to do. We say, we're going to do the work in the natural. We're going to make the vision board, and then we're going to ask Holy Spirit to bring the super and add it onto the natural. And I want to give you one really fun example. It's one that I share a lot because it's my favorite. One of the key volunteers here, Tina Croft, she put together her vision board. She put a lot of effort into it, followed the directions and put it up there. And I, pull up the vision board and I'm like praying, Lord, what do you say? I didn't say one word about anything on her vision board. Nothing. Not a word. And in fact, someone timed it. I think I prayed for her for 70 seconds. 70 seconds. And I always tell people, the shorter I pray for you, the more sure I am that it's God. Because sometimes I'm like looking for it. God, help me out here. But no, I prayed for her for like 70 seconds. And I said, Tina, the Lord is calling you into you're going to move. And the Lord is calling you into a season of rest. That was it. That was the end of the big input on her vision board. And 2 weeks later, her husband, who had been out of work for a year, came home and said, honey, we're moving. I've got a job. And she was leaving behind a great career. She'd been, I think, at the university where she worked for 17 years. And she had to leave her job, pack up everything. So this is like a big ask. And he said, honey, I've got a job. We're going to have to move to another state. We're going to rest in Virginia, rest on. And just 2 weeks earlier, I had prayed, God's leading you. You're going to move to another state into a season of rest. So it was like when her husband came home and sprung this shockaroo, she was like, confirmation, Lord already told me. I'm sorry, that's one of my favorites. But we'll be praying for you. And that you would have that moment of clarity, maybe for the first time, or fresh encouragement to press on with a dream that maybe you've been allowing to die. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I'm glad it does. And one thing I would encourage a lot of you to do, if you're like, God, I really need a fresh word from God. I need to hear from him. Set aside a season of consecration. I mentioned this yesterday. I just want to hit it real quick again today. I have a free resource called The 5 Phases of Fasting, how to do an extended fast. I've done a lot of extended fast, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, 40 days. So it's one of my passions, and I think I have a lot of revelation about it. And I have a free resource. It's donnaparteau.com/5, the number 5, hyphen, little dash, phases. And you can get that resource. But I want to encourage a lot of you, and maybe even in our 21-day class that we're going to do together, maybe a lot of you are going to want to fast to some extent. It might not be a water fast. It might be a juice fast, a vegetable, whatever that's going to look like for you. I don't want to get too far down on, I don't want to get too far afield. We're on step 1. I'm supposed to be moving on to step 2. Step 2, you ready? That was all a review of day 1. Now, day 2, we're ready? Let's do this thing. Okay. Step 2, after you've clarified your vision, is to plan based on your predetermined priorities. And there's just so much that I could say about that. And I think I want to do each of those words: plan, predetermined, and priorities, the 3 P's. I want to kind of look at this, but let me give you a scripture. You've heard it before. Write the vision. Okay, so that, do you have one of these? It's called a pen and maybe a piece of paper. I hope you do. If you don't, you know what? Grab one. You'll be excused from class for the next 2 seconds. Okay, get one for yourself. Have a pen, have a paper. Write the vision. And there's a workbook for this, is a free little workbook. If you're on the mailing list, I send it to you. I'll send it to you every day over and over again. Download that workbook, take out your precious little pen and fill in the blanks. Okay, hope you're taking notes. So write the vision and make it plain. Not vague, not general, plain. So that he may run who reads it. So again, I've got 3 words I want to do there, and then I'm going to go back to the other one. Write, make sure you've got this thing in writing. People who write their resolutions and just write them once are infinitely more likely to fulfill them than people who don't. People who write their resolutions every day, I mean, you're going to nail that thing. That's what I do every day. Okay, maybe I miss once in a while, but most days, I would say at least 80% of days, first thing Donna does, she takes out her little handy dandy notebook, and I turn to what my plans for the year are. That's the first page, my plans for the year, my goals, my resolutions. The second page is, okay, so this month, what am I going to do? Okay, so then this week, what am I going to do to make that plain? Okay, and then today, and then I'll sit and write out, what am I going to do today? And I have a template. And actually, that's free too. Guys, remind me to send y'all this. It's called Make Today Great, my Make Today Great form, and that's free. And I'll send that to you. It's the exact form that I use every day to make each day great. Write it. A pen, a paper. You can do this. Tamara is trying to talk to me. I hope I'm not doing something wrong. This is my partner. Okay. She might join me live. We'll see. That's my partner, Tamara. She's my partner in 7 Days to Freedom. So we might say more about that. Okay, so does everybody get a pen? Let me know. Type it in the chat. Say, I've got a pen, I've got a pen, I've got a pen. Yes, Habakkuk 2:2. Yes, Habakkuk 2:2. Thank you. I did have that in my notes. Habakkuk 2:2. But thank you for typing it on there. I appreciate that. Write the vision and make it plain so he may run who reads it. And if you were here yesterday, I gave the illustration of me being in a dark house where I was like inching down the hallway, terrified that I was going to like fall down the marble staircase. And then I contrast it with my daughter who's at dance class leaping to the bathroom. We're both going to the same place, but we're not both enjoying the journey. Okay. So run. Make forward progress. It's that doubt. It's like, oh, I don't know. Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm not sure. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. Second guessing yourself. Did God really say the oldest line of the devil? His first lie. Did God really say? Are you sure that's what you're supposed to do in 2019? Yeah, I am, because I took best year ever and I wrote it down and I made it plain and I committed to it. So no, devil, take your bag of lies to someone else. I'm running. I have the vision. I have my plan. I know what I'm doing. And there's some course correction, but I'm not letting this thing go. I've heard from God. I've made my plan and I'm going to run. I'm going to leap. I'm not going to be inching in the dark because Jesus is the light and he's turned it on. I liked yesterday. You can tell I keep going back to it. Oh, okay, great. And then what's the other word? Reads it. Yeah. Okay, guys, this is so easy, but like almost no one does it. It's one of those things that's like, it's so easy to do. It just may be a microscopic drop easier not to. What am I talking about? I'm talking about reading it. Read it. Write your vision for the year. Like, I don't know. Do you need to write it on the refrigerator? You need to write it on the wall. You need to write it on your vision board. That's where we're going to make a vision board. And then read it every day. Read it and write it. Then you can run. It's right here in the Bible. There's your best year ever game plan. Sisters, brothers, right here. And listen, if you do nothing else but this, if you do nothing else but write out the vision and then read it every day, and after you read it, rewrite it, it's gonna, how long is that going to take you? 2 seconds? You will be like in the top 1% of the world if you just do what this one Bible verse says. Are you like, Donna, I've got what I need? If you've got price of admission, just type in there POA. That's price of admission. And you can type that at any point. If that alone was worth coming to this free Facebook Live class, would you do it? Show me some love. Just hit that thumbs up button. Type in the comments, yes, POA, price of admission. Seconds. Carrie's like, yeah, simple, but whoa. I mean, it's not going to take you a minute to do that every day. Show me some love. Can someone hit that love button? Somebody love that. Is somebody wow? Is someone laughing at me? Whatever it is, as long as you don't hit that angry button. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, Linda says yes, POA. Linda, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you, and I want to pray with you. Actually, Kristen says the price of admission was achieved last month when I registered. A lot of people saying this was already price of admission. I'm already glad I came. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks for engaging. Katie says, yes, POA, and she added some hearts. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to step 2, right? Which was plan based on your predetermined, POA is price of admission. Of course, it was free. So but your time is very valuable, right? So the price is your time and your focus and your effort. Hey, Carrie, glad you could join us. Some people here for the first time. Okay, so let's come back. So we're on step 2, which is plan based on your predetermined priorities. You can't do everything. You can't. And there really is power in one thing. You've got to prioritize. And look, we're all saying, I do the same thing. I teach this stuff. And I still make the same mistakes everybody makes, even though I know better. I don't always do better. We don't always do everything we know. But this year I'm determined. Prioritize. Sisters, what's the one thing? Seriously. I'm telling you, there's power in it. What's the one thing that if you were really to do it every day, again, I can't reteach yesterday. I taught you need to watch it, okay? If you were to engage in that one kind of process, that one endeavor, whether it's taking a daily walk, writing every day, painting every day, practicing your musical instrument every day, soaking in the presence of God every day, praying for an hour every day, reading the Bible every day, just one thing that if you were to do it every day, that one thing alone would change the whole year. And if you've read the book, The One Thing, and if you haven't, I can summarize it, okay, like right now in a couple of sentences. A brilliant guy, great famous guy, was training 6-figure people, really accomplished people. And he would give them 3 things to do every week, and they would come back the next week. He was their coach and report how that was going. And these people were paying him to be their coach. So you would think that with money on the line and great big goals that they would get them to, and they wouldn't. 3 things. They wouldn't get it. He's like, you know what? How about one thing? How about we set a goal to do one thing every week? And those people would come back, and not only would they have done the one thing, they would do a whole bunch of things, like the numbers 2 and 3 would have gotten done, even though they weren't on the list. There's power in focus. What is your predetermined? You, not someone else. Not somebody else. You and God. You get together and you decide in advance what's that one thing that no matter what, absolutely you are going to do. You're going to engage in that process. Again, we said yesterday, don't say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this year. No, I'm going to walk every day. And if I walk for a mile, for an hour every day to brisk pace, I think those 20 pounds are kind of going to take care of themselves. To focus on, what's that process? I'm getting a tiny bit ahead because I get excited. But you need to plan and have, again, it's got to be written. What is the plan? What time are you going to do it? Where are you going to do it? That, again, these are critical. They've done all kinds of scientific research. If someone says, I'm going to walk every day at 7 o'clock at the park with my dog every day without fail, that person is already on the road to success and way ahead of the person who didn't take that much time to come up with that much of a plan. So I'm going to write at my desk every morning at 6 a.m. until I have 500 words or until a half hour has passed. That kind of specificity, that's the kind of plan that we're talking about according to your predetermined priorities. And even, cross off the IES because girlfriend has got the revelation, not priorities, but priority. So if you got your workbook, just cross it out and say, not priorities, priority. I'm going to focus on one thing. And you know what? I'm telling you, because success breeds success. When you make a list of like your 20, when you make a list of the 20 resolutions that you're going to get done this year, you're like, of course you're going to fail, and nobody likes to feel like a failure. So you don't even want to look at it anymore. You're overwhelmed and feel bad about yourself. Who needs to feel bad about themselves? That's what you've got coworkers for. Donna, don't say stuff like that. I almost said family members. How many of you have someone who's it's their job to just make sure you feel bad about yourself and just don't get too high on your horse? We've all got those people. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. So you don't need your 20 item list of resolutions to make you feel bad about yourself. You know what? The world will just do that for you. So how about if you just pick one thing and then track that, commit to that. And then you can feel good. You're like, you know what? I walked this morning. You know what? I wrote this morning. That's like the one thing I had to do. So, I'm rolling the world now. And you know what's going to happen? That sense of success, feeling good about yourself, that's what's going to propel you forward. That's what's going to give you the momentum to feel like, you know what? I can do that. Let me take on some other things. So what I'm saying is maybe you will get 20 other things done. But don't prioritize everything. Cross out the IES and just put a Y, priority. Just one thing. What's the one thing that you absolutely positively have to do? It's so funny because the people who know me really well, like keep trying to get it, like, come on, Donna, come on. What are you working on this year? Come on. I'm like, girlfriend is not making that mistake. My one thing is a sip of water. Not really, I made that up. My one thing is to get out of bed at 5 o'clock. That's it, because I know that for me, that's a lead domino. That's my priority. Because if I get up at 5 o'clock, this girl is going to be tired by 8 p.m. And we all know, if you're in the renewal, you know about the witching hour. Nothing good happens after like 9, 10 o'clock. Nothing good. That's when like you're done. All your worst habits, you ate good all day and then it's like 8, 9 o'clock, forget it. The whole thing falls apart. Come on. It's not just me. We're all the same. So I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and not have any electronics until 10 a.m. If I can get up at 5 and have 5 hours in my day, and people are like, well, what? So Donna, what are you going to do during those 5 hours? I'm like, I'm not even going there. Other than writing 500 words, it's like 5 by 5 by 500. I don't care. I can pet my dog. It's actually my grand dog, but he's living with me right now. I can pet my grand dog for 4 hours. I just don't care. As long as which I probably won't, but that's my point. I don't need to commit to 50 other things. I'm just going to get this precious little self out of bed at 5 a.m. and I'm not going to touch electronic devices until 10. Not going to go on the internet, not going to do any of those things. Although I did take a picture of the dolphins this morning. I forgot about that. I got to pray about that. Donna. I'm thinking while I'm teaching. I just realized by habit, I took my phone with me, and when I saw the dolphins, I'm like, I gotta take a picture. So I'll have to get out of the habit of taking my phone, or at least have my phone off or something. I gotta pray about that. Anyway, I distracted myself. Okay, I was talking about one thing, planning based on your one predetermined priority. And my priority is get out of bed, 5 o'clock, write 500 words, and stay off of the electronics for 5 hours. And other than that, I'm not going to commit to anything else. And you know who you are. You've been texting me, asking me. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to back myself into that corner. No. I'm leading by example. I'm going to feel good about myself. I just pet my dog for 5 hours. I don't know. As long as I got up at 5, I'm happy and wrote my 500 words. Okay. And then I want to talk about one last thing. How are we doing on time? Okay. Well, maybe I'll even squeeze in a couple more. I am like a personal professional development aholic. By the way, you can still share this. Click share. Can you do that? Everybody just take 1 second. If I've helped you, could you click share on your screen? And that will let all of your family and friends know that they can hop on over here and find out how to have their best year ever. And the other thing, I want to ask you again, if you could show me some love, hit the thumbs up button, the love button, the wow button, the laugh button. Just don't hit the angry guy button. Thanks. Okay. Facebook might not like me if I get too many of those angry guy buttons. They'll think I'm doing something wrong. Okay. So one thing I notice is that there's like 2 camps in the professional and personal professional development field. There's one camp that says the key is massive action. Okay, there's one guy who's famous for it. Massive action, that's the key. You've got to make a plan and then just go for it. Massive action, big, huge things. And that's how you get things done. But then there's other people who say, no. The key, the things that really will change your life in 2019, it's what you do daily. It's those daily habits. Nothing you don't do every day will ever change your life. That's kind of how I put it. One of my slogans here at Women's Empowerment University is little bits with consistency. How many times have you heard me say that? If you want to change your life, change what you do every day. And the expression, you can't change your life, but you can change what you do every day, and that will change your life. So there's kind of 2 camps, right? There's 2 ways of looking at this. Massive action, you got to do something big, or it's what you do daily. And I would like to suggest to you that as usually is the case, it's not either or, it's both and. You need both. You need some things that are kind of like big, massive action, all in, totally committed, and you need to develop daily habits. And we'll do more of that in the paid class. I can't, we're limited on what we can cover on this step. But I just want to give you some examples. I'm going to give you a really practical one, okay? And you need to plan for these. That's kind of the point. So let's say, my priority this year is my spiritual growth. I want to grow in my anointing, okay? So I think you need both. You need massive action type things, and then you need daily. What do I mean by massive action? I mean like last year I committed to do 4 conferences. And one, I went, drove to another city and stayed in a cheap Airbnb. It was the IHOP, International House of Prayer. My younger daughter's an IHOPper. So her and I went, and we got one little tiny Airbnb room. Wasn't very nice, and it was cheap. And we went away and we just got into the presence of God. We left everything else behind. Did you hear me say that? We left everything else behind. Did you hear me say that? We left everything else. It was a priority. Yeah, we were all in. It was all about God. It was all about spiritual filling for those 3 days at that conference from morning to night. And then my older daughter and I went and we stayed at a really fancy hotel because we were at the Heidi Baker conference and we wanted to be in the building where Heidi was speaking because we know how those go. They end up till 1 a.m. So I went to one of those, and then there were 2 conferences right here. One was at my local church, one was at a nearby church. So that was just kind of but it set everything a massive action to be in the presence of God. But that's powerful. But Is that like a substitute for reading the Bible and spending time with God every day? No, it's not either or. It's both and. And I gave this example yesterday. I kind of want to build on it again today. I'm a writer, and I've always taken the massive action approach. Because I was a homeschooling mom. I mean, how many, now you can do the crazy. Is there like that woman's crazy? That you need that button. Somebody want to click that woman's crazy button. I think that would be the one was like, oh, you homeschool? What's wrong with you? And I let my kids live. It's amazing. And they haven't killed me yet. So that's good. But anyway, so I homeschooled. So I would do the massive action approach. I would go away. I usually went to there was actually a Catholic retreat center, and all the nuns would cook for me, and I would, or, silence. I went to a monastery one time. But, becoming a vessel, I wrote in 5 days of massive action. The special blessings prayer, I wrote in 10 days of massive action on an island in Fiji. Massive action. And that's really how I've approached my books, massive action. And you know what I've never done? I've never done the little bits with consistency, writing every day. And the Lord said, this year, girl, now I've given you a lot of grace on that massive action thing, but that's not really the way to be an author. Yes, you can do that, but you've taken an either or approach, and it hasn't worked for you. You haven't been as effective as you could be. Now let's see that daily action, that little bits with consistency, and let's do both. And I'd love for, and we can do this in the paid class together. Let's kind of brainstorm, and you can even just do that right now. What are some ways, whatever that one thing that you're wanting to do? Okay, let's use weight loss. Now I've told you, it's that process. Okay, so every day I'm going to get up 1 hour, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay. This is a great example. I actually really like this one. So that's your little bits with consistency, but then you need a massive action. So maybe Linda and I are going to do a kayaking trip, and you're going to come and you're going to have that 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. It'll probably be 5 days where you're going to go away from it all and totally do a fitness challenge. We had a group of ladies, we hiked the Grand Canyon. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I've done triathlons. That's like an in it to win it massive action, but it required both that daily consistency and then the opportunity for massive action. Is this making sense to somebody? And you need to prioritize. You're not going to be able to take massive action on everything, right? And you're really not even going to keep I love you. You're not going to be able to keep up with those 20 habits. Just be honest. Be real, little bit. We want to dream, but like a realistic dream. Remember my teaching on the positively Christian woman? Realistic optimism. You need them both. So think about that. How can you approach this goal to both, and plan it in advance? Like if you want to write a book, write every day, but then also plan times it away. And I want to mention this, and I don't think I can bring her on. I'm trying to figure out how to do an event. Tamara, type a comment right now real quick. Tamara Aragon is my partner in Lifestyle Freedom. If you want to get clarity and really exponential growth in as an author, as some type of a communicator, maybe becoming a Christian digital nomad, launching a ministry, launching a nonprofit. Like almost everybody last year wanted to launch a nonprofit. I would encourage you to take massive action by joining me. It's going to be in the Caribbean this year. It's a short flight. We've got just a couple spots left, and go to 7daystofreedom.com and take those 7 days away. I always tell people I believe in 7 days. 7 days changed my life. I went to that conference. I didn't know what I was signing up for, but I went, and this was just like in North Jersey, or northern Pennsylvania on the border of New Jersey. It wasn't a beautiful white sandy beach in the Caribbean. And those 7 days changed the course of my life forever. I could never be the same after those 7 days. And that's our goal with those 7 days to freedom. We want God to do something in your life during those 7 days of massive action that you are never the same, that God will give you a vision that you can't let go of. And I need to go back and share this because I skipped it, and maybe because I need to share it here. And I know I'm supposed to be engaging with you. Okay, is everybody hearing me? We have someone saying they're not hearing. Are you hearing me? Can you just throw me some love? If you're hearing me, can you show me? Just hit the thumbs up and say, yes, we're hearing you, Donna. Okay, good. Just one person who lost sound. Boy, there's that panic moment, right? It's like I'm pouring out my precious little heart. And no one knows what I'm saying. Okay, good. You're hearing me. Great. I appreciate that. Super duper. When is it? The 7 days to freedom is the last week of February into the first week of March. It's 1 week. I think it's like Saturday to Sunday, that type of a thing. And we'd love to have you go to 7daystofreedom.com. We've got just, if yes, you're hearing me. Thank you. You're hearing me. I appreciate that. So I wanted to share this because it's important. I had those 7 days and I had that incredible encounter with God. I gained clarity about my calling and what I was supposed to be doing. And I was so excited. I took more massive action. I read the entire Bible from Genesis to maps. Yep, I read the maps in 4 weeks. And then I went off to college and I made a series of really, really bad decisions. Really bad. And some of you know, I'm not going to say more, but I backed myself into a corner where I was not allowed to walk around the block, let alone go all around the world for God. I literally was not allowed to walk around the block. And I was in that place for decades. And it was the power of what I knew I'd heard from God. Even though my circumstances and my choices look like, there is no way that I'm going to be able to walk out what God has spoken to me, I knew I'd heard from him. And nothing and no one could take that away from me. And that's what these kind of massive action type things, either it's like get a project done, or if it's like a hear from God, like these 7 days, it's all about hearing from God. And finding out what you're capable of. I think, some of you, I see some of my people, if you were on the Grand Canyon trip, can anyone take away from you what we accomplished together during those few short days? Wow, that was harder than a triathlon. That was harder than Kilimanjaro, because our guide leads trips down Kilimanjaro, up Kilimanjaro, which is one of the things I want to do before I hit 60. And nothing can take that away from you. Wow, powerful stuff, powerful stuff. So I believe in those. And then the last thing that I wanted to, here's what else I want to say. I want to wrap it up in the next few minutes. And I also wanted to hear your comments, Donna. Linda, thank you for sharing it. Joanne is here. Awesome. Bonita, you're here. Some of the ladies who were with me in the Grand Canyon, and it was brutal. It was rain, and it was so much harder than we ever dreamed. But we know that we did it. Now we know that there's like this thing inside of us. We have to do more of these fitness challenges. They're so incredible. The next one is going to be a kayaking challenge. So you got to build your core strength and your balance and your upper body strength. And Linda, we need to pray about that if we're still moving forward with that this year or postponing. But we're definitely going to do a kayaking in the San Juan Islands challenge, and it's just going to be incredible. And no one will be able to take away from me. No one can take away from me that I ran a marathon. I'm a marathoner. I did that. No one can take away from me that I have done a triathlon. 55, at age 55, this girl did a triathlon. No one can take that from me. And so that's kind of the power of those massive actions, right? So we need those, but it's those little bits with consistency. And this is what I wrote. You guys, yeah, Bonita's like, the experience stays with us. Let me know you're still hearing. We do have someone again saying they're not hearing. If you're hearing, give me some thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I believe in it. I believe in those destination events. I believe in experiences. Some of you went with me to Greece. We followed the footsteps of Paul this year. We went to Greece and Italy. The year before, we went to Turkey, and we went to the 7 churches of Revelation. Do you know they're in Turkey? No one can take that from you. When you've walked where Paul walked, when you've been to Israel, we're going to Israel this year, no one can take that from you. Nobody. To be in the prison cell where Peter and Paul were held, nobody can take that from you. There's power. But here's what I put. You know the 80-20 rule? Like everybody's heard that. And I just kind of jotted this. I think character and contribution, that's what it's all about. Character and kingdom contribution. Those are the two things that are happening in our lives. God's building our character, and he wants us to make a kingdom contribution. And I feel like what we do daily, our character, what we do daily, 80% of our character is based on what we do daily. Did you get that? I think our character, 80% of that comes from what we do every day. And then our contribution, probably the same, although it could be the 20%, coming back to the Pareto principle. It could be that you're going to spend a year of writing and working and scribbling notes, and then you go away for a writing. We're going to do one of these in Ireland, probably in 2 years. We're going to go away to Ireland, to a castle, and we're going to write together. You know, that 20% effort probably could be your kingdom contribution. You know, some of you might just come. We talked about this, about Nehemiah, 52 days in a foreign country. That was his kingdom contribution. Some of you are going to come with me to Guatemala. And that's going to be like not even 20% of your year. And it's going to be the greatest thing that you do all year. Does this make sense? So anyway, just kind of something that I jotted down, and something for us to be praying about and thinking about. I think for most of these, you know, planning, as you're planning this year, probably, I'm not going to do too much on that. Because I've noticed that I'm running out of time. You know, just getting up an hour early. Almost all of us, whatever your dream, whatever you're aspiring to do, probably whatever it is, it would benefit by getting an hour earlier. Whether you want to write a book, whether you want to launch a blog, whether you want to launch a podcast, that's what I wanted to say. Massive action can be also called batching. So if you want to be a podcaster, you know, write a little every day, you know, jotting down ideas, but then at some point you really need to go away from it all and set up a little sound studio somewhere and record a bunch of podcasts that are in the queue. God's telling me to wrap it up. I've been teaching so much this year. My voice is kind of, or again, I gave the example of a book, or you want to have a blog. It's hard to stay consistent, you know, but get up an hour early or work on that blog, but then go away, like schedule it. Okay. So 4 times this year, I'm going to go away to a nice Airbnb, or I'm going to go away to a bed and breakfast. I'm going to go away somewhere, and I'm going to do so, and schedule that, plan that. That's what we're talking about today, planning based on your predetermined priorities. So if you want to be a blogger, schedule 4 times that you're going to go away to a nice location and just focus on your blogging. If you're going to do podcasts, same thing. Does this make sense? Plan that out in advance. And I don't think I'm going to be able to bring Tamara on. I think we need some better technology to make that happen. I want to read some of your comments. If you have any questions, throw them up on the comment board, and I'll jump over and I'll look at some of those. And also, I just want to mention some resources. If you want to write a book this year, I would recommend donnaparteau.com/authority. I've got a wonderful resource, how to get your book in print and in print and on Kindle in just 30 days. And I show you how to take massive action and get your book done in a hurry, because that's kind of my specialty. If you would like to be doing more of what I'm doing, whether blogging, podcasting, Facebook Living, launching a nonprofit, launching a ministry, launching a business, adding an extra stream of income, go to donnaparteau.com/message and check out my class, Take Your Message to the World. If you want to lose weight, I can highly recommend my super easy, super simple, but very effective and, tested Drop a Size in 30 Days. And it is dropasizeinthirtydays.com. It's the number 30, dropasizeinthirtydays.com. If you want to fast, we have a ton of resources. One I'm mentioning that's free is The Secret to Extended Fasts, which explains the 5 phases of fasting. No one else is teaching this. No one else that I know of that I've ever read teaches about that 5th phase. You're going to learn it from me because I've done a ton of fasting. Go to donnaparteau.com/5 hyphen, that's a little dash, phases. And if any of my team are in here, you can type some of these URLs, and that's a free resource. And then, of course, If you'd like to receive all 5 of these free videos, I'm going to download them. I'm going to pull them off Facebook and put them permanently on my membership site, and you can get free access to those. You can go to donnaparteau.com/5 days. donnaparteau.com/5, the number 5 days, free. Get on the mailing list, and when I have this all done and I've put them all up on the website, I'll send you the link, and then you'll have lifetime access, and you can watch these at your leisure. And then finally, if you're enjoying this and you want to continue on with the paid class, make this your best year ever. It's going to be 21 days with me live like this. Go to bestyear.co, bestyear.co, not .com. .co. I'm going to have to take a sip of water and then read some of your comments, questions. Pray for my throat, if you would. I'm actually enjoying this, other than the strain on my throat, and even with my strain. Okay. Tamara Aragon is mentioning we have just a couple spots left at the 7 Days to Freedom event. If you could add on that URL. Shayla says the most powerful thing today is plan and priority. Yeah, that's great. What was your biggest takeaway today? I like that. I like that. What was your biggest takeaway from today? And Shayla says the most powerful thing today. I might have to sign off. Wow. I have to sign off. Sorry. Sorry about that.